the friendly town of Somerset, in the heart of Kentucky.
Just a nice, laid-back kind of town. Got the car show, the lake, a lot of fun stuff.
Bob Williams has a full-time job that's not easy to talk about.
This is my own son.
As hard as it is to admit it, his full-time job is to prevent his son from killing someone.
Parents shouldn't have to go through that. You shouldn't have to call the police on your own son.
His son Trey is 33 years old, but his life changed 15 years ago.
When he was 18, he first developed paranoid schizophrenia.
This is the story of helplessness, of a vicious cycle, of a father who says his son might kill someone if Kentucky doesn't take action to make changes.
As a parent, it's hard to say that about your son.
Williams says his son has had violent outbursts over the past decade. One of the bloodiest episodes happened at an apartment complex in downtown Somerset in 2017.
He apparently hit this lady over the head with some kind of homemade club that he'd made. She stumbled into the hallway, there was blood everywhere. Subsequently, she was taken to the hospital, had either 40-something or 50-something stitches, and I was told that she had to kind of learn how to walk again after that.
Williams says he was attacked by his own son later that year.
At that moment, you thought what?
I thought he could kill somebody. I mean, I really thought he could kill me.
He doesn't want to talk about it, but Williams agreed to make his pain public to try to fix an alarming flaw in Kentucky's law. Some violent, mentally ill defendants like his son are walking free. He reached out after WDRB News exposed the problem earlier this year.
Words that cannot describe it.
When an 8-year-old Louisville girl was raped in her own backyard by a stranger.
That was wrong. Why would you do that? Why would you do that to her?
In that case, 30-year-old Kane Madden was arrested and charged.
I'd like to see him castrated.
A man with a long criminal past and a history of mental illness. A man who's walked free in the past because of a dangerous cycle that continues to play out across Kentucky.
Because if he gets released, watch yourself and watch your babies.
When some mentally ill defendants are declared incompetent to stand trial, their charges are dropped. Instead, prosecutors try to have them hospitalized, but Kentucky law says, in part, that people can only be committed against their will if they can benefit from that treatment, even if they're considered dangerous.
It's just so hard to understand how somebody that's incompetent can just be released out onto the street. And you're hoping and praying that there's somebody to take care of them. There's not for these people.
The man who was prosecuting the case against Trey Williams, until he had to dismiss it, is well aware of the problem. And that prosecutor, Eddie Montgomery, says he's working other cases just like it.
I have at least 4 or 5 right now pending.
On your list of priorities as a prosecutor, where does this issue lie?
I would say this issue to me is the biggest hole in the criminal justice system we have right now.
Another of those cases from February 2018. In it, Montgomery says an 18-year-old was driving his 12-year-old sister down this rural road in Pulaski County when suddenly they had to stop. The road in front of them was flooded, but before they could turn around, their back windshield exploded. Records say the 18-year-old driver had to duck down as a bullet pierced his headrest.
Barely misses him.
They had to duck.
Yes. I mean, just you're inches of killing. Yes.
67-year-old Danny Conley was arrested and charged, but ultimately fell through the same loophole because of mental illness.
He's indicted by a grand jury, 2 counts of attempted murder, found incompetent. We pursued our other avenues we could civilly, and he's immediately released by Eastern State Hospital after the judge ordered 360 days commitment, and within 48 hours they wouldn't let him out. Clearly by the charges, he was a danger and he was in need of treatment. He's free.
The state is now studying how to close that loophole after WDRB's investigations, and Montgomery hopes changes do come before someone else becomes a victim.
Will more people be hurt or killed?
Oh, absolutely, yeah. And my biggest fear is some of these, the next school shooter might be out there.
Williams hopes that won't be his son.
Do you ever ask God why he dealt you the hand he dealt you?
For a little over a year, when my son first had his break, God and I weren't on speaking terms. I was angry. I didn't understand it, and I didn't understand why God wouldn't heal him, wouldn't bring him back. I mean, since my son was 18, he's been gone. And I know I'll never get that same son back. Never. So yeah, man, I quit praying. I just wouldn't talk to God. And I was just like, fine. You know, if you're not going to help me, I'm not going to do anything for you either.
But Williams came back to God, a God he now prays will guide Kentucky to change.